the project. Right, today, as I said in the last one, I've just got to tack weld this little box into its situ and then start skinning this and bond it to the bike, or bond it to the bike and then start skinning it, one before the other. So, no need for extraneous chatter. Get the welder out, get stuck in. Right, bit of a change of plan. I'm not going to weld it in because then I can never get it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just bond this to the bike and then start skinning it and leave the hole. Now I can panel bond it in, believe me, panel bond is outrageous. The stuff I've got, you can pick the bike up with it, it's mad. It's the stuff I stuck the secondary tank to on the rat project, and honestly once it's on there, nothing gets it off. So I won't have any problem getting that in there. And very many of you have come up with the concept that possibly that metal box might act like a Faraday cage and prevent the signal getting to the GPS speedo. Now I don't know, this is a concrete garage, it's concrete, big block walls either side, concrete ceiling, and it works okay in here, it works okay in the car, but in a steel box, that just might slow it down if nothing else. So I'm just going to make a judgment call and say I'm going to leave the hole clear with the ability to drop the metal box in. That way, in the future, if that doesn't work, then I can just take it out and I can put something else in. Maybe a plastic or carbon fibre box or something else, whatever. But if it's welded in there, it's permanent, and then I've got to trash this in order to get it out. And once it's bonded to the tank, that's brutality that I don't want to be doing. So just as a safety thing, just in case the metal box does the Faraday thing, then I don't want to have to try and get it out. So I'm going to get this bonded on and start skinning it because I'm really, really looking forward to this. Let's get stuck in. Alright, so let's show you this. I've used this before. It's not proper automotive panel bond. For all the trying in the world, I can't actually get hold of that. Seam sealer and stuff you can get, but not proper panel bond. But this is as close as it gets. Serious stuff, sealing adhesive. It seals, well, just about anything to just about anything that's not loose and gritty, and I've used it loads of times, it's brilliant. So I'm going to use some of this, see what we're up to. There we go. Right, as you can see, I've had to pile a little heap of heavy junk on top of it, purely because there are slight curvature issues that are not absolutely mirror perfect to the frame, and I want it to be as kind of bonded down as possible. This one here, there's a little bit of an edge, but I'm going to be blending right out on that with the filler and the bodywork, so it doesn't make any difference at all. I just want it fully bonded and fully stuck on. I want no gaps in it or anything, as a good base. Now in there, where the drain tube is, I've left that bead untouched so it dries and becomes hard, and then I'll build another one up on top, then on top. So I'll actually build up to it. If I spread that now, it will just go underneath and bung up the drain, so that's not going to happen. Now it says on the tube, adjustable for 10 minutes and touch dry within an hour, and then fully bonded in 24 hours. So what I'm going to do, before I do anything else to this, because it can still move, if I move it, it still slides. So I've got it exactly in the right place. There are some little, you probably can't see them, I put a shade. There are some little shiny bits here, like that one there, and so on, which represent the welded centre line of the tank. I think this tank, when it was made, was probably pressed in 2 halves like that, and then, I don't know, perhaps whatever welded down the middle, but it's got some imperfections down the centre, you can see when I block sanded it. So I think that's the centre line. This follows that, everything lines up. It's 3.5 inches. When we stand here, just to measure it, that there lines up with that there, and also with the bike, because that to there is 3.5 inches, and so is that. So it's as symmetrical as I can make it. The hole over the tank cap is about as correctly placed as I can do it at this point. But this is a typical situation, one of those things where I can't do a lot now. I'm a bit stuck. Everything I've got that's heavy is just, there's probably about 10 kilos of junk on top of that, and that's just going to press down on it for the next hour. So I'm going for some lunch. When I get back, we'll rip that off, all that, put it away, and I'll see if I can get that sealed on the drain, and then at least get the whole thing on the bike today and leave it 24 hours before it sets, because I can't go putting fiberglass over that because it's air dry, so I have to leave it at least 24 hours. Right. Okay, so it's bonded on now. Kind of. It's still tacky to the feel, and obviously not strong enough. It takes 24 hours, and I can't cover it. So what I'm going to do, sadly, all I'm going to do for the rest of this is coat it up, make the seal on the drains, and spread it out, tidy it, and then I'll have to leave it to dry for 24 hours, which is a bit annoying because I'd like to get cracking on the actual skin. I've got all the material for the skin, so let's get this done, and I'll tell you what we're doing with the skin, so in the next video you'll see it start cracking on. Right. Okay, there we go. Now I've got to apologise first of all for this one. This is probably one of the most boring videos of this series so far. It's just nothing constructive happening, and I know when I watch videos I like to see lots going on and lots achieved at the end of it, but this is drying times. It's a bit like paintwork. You could go ahead and make 4 days in the garage into one video, but I think a lot of you have already said you like to be along for the way on this. This is one session in the garage, about 3 hours I've done on this. It's just lining it up. Took about 2 or 3 attempts in the end. I didn't show you all of them. Just getting it so that it's symmetrical on the tank and straight. You get one chance of getting it right, and it is. It's correct. Then mark it out. You saw that. Speed on it. Stick it down. There's about 12 pounds of junk on there now, just to hold it down so that it doesn't move. Check the front line. It doesn't move. Everything is correct. I'm really happy because it's a nervous time. You know, you get it wrong, come back in the garage to move on to the next thing, and it's cockeyed, and it's just a disaster because you've then got to cut it off. Try and get all that stuff out. Oh, just don't even go there. It is correct. It ain't coming off. Now that's properly part of the tank now. This stuff dries like a rubber now. It's kind of dry now, a bit like windscreen rubber sort of thing, but it will go hard like a plastic overnight. It's going to take 24 hours now, so I can't do anything to this. The other side of it is areas of it, when you touch it, you're getting it on you. Before you know it, it's on your clothes, it's on the camera, it's everywhere. So, you know, I don't want to do that. I want to keep everything clean. This stuff's non-toxic. It is soluble, as you saw in white spirit. Just use white spirit and rags it off. Once it's cured though, the only thing that will shift it is petrol. Now that means, being a petrol tank, I have to seal over this stuff. So this stuff needs to be fully cured, maybe 48 hours before I put anything over it and seal it in, because it's air cured, air dried. And in that sense, obviously it'd be stupid to seal it in now or to do anything else. I'm not going to bore you with it in great detail, but that now needs to be skinned. So the next thing is to skin it. I'm not going to use, the reason I've got this in my hand is I'm not going to use fiberglass straight away. Problem with fiberglass, you lay it over, you dab it on with the resin and it sags into the frame. So that's not what I want. What I'm going to use is, those of you who followed the build on damage on the back end, I did it on that with the seat unit that I built, and I'll be doing it on this seat unit as well. You stretch cloth over it, you super glue the cloth to the frame where it touches, and you get a drum skin effect, just one layer. You then soak that in resin, it becomes like a cotton fibre resin layer. It's flexible, you know, it's not completely strong. You do need the fiberglass for rigidity, and the fiberglass then lays on top of that, and you get a fantastic solid strong coat that doesn't sag in. You don't have to then fill with wheelbarrow loads of filler, which is going to be a bit rubbish. So I've got all the filler, got all the materials, got a big tube, big pot of that super glue from Trago Mills again, and I'm ready to go. So the next thing will be to seal that completely in resin so that petrol never touches it, because honestly, if petrol gets on that, it just melts it off. Let's face it, gasoline is probably just about one of the most strongest chemicals known to man. That's up there, isn't it? Along with the acids, and it will burn through anything. When this tank is finally painted and lacquered and sealed in, it will be sealed in a proper 2-pack lacquer, and that will seal it again. But that's the next thing. So I've got to leave it now, I'm afraid. Again, apologies for this one, not a brilliantly fantastic video, not fantastically interesting, but that's got to have 48 hours or even longer before it cures and I can do anything else with it. That's just the safe way to go. Then I can finalise it and we can do some interesting stuff, popping the skin on and start making it actually look like a console and not a little skeleton. So I'll leave you with the Wall of Friends. A little hint, the next video we've got a free prize draw coming up, so that will be all of you, and it'll be something rather fantastic. But I'll let you know that on Saturday in the next video. For now, take it easy, ride safe, Wall of Friends, see you next time.